This show is about you, and you are just inspiring. Okay, because you hear all the stories of these little snowflakes who can't get a job, right? Oh, I can't get a job. My life is falling in, and I can't find something in my area of study, and so I live in my mother's basement till I'm 38. You hear all that crap, right? I hear these people. I got participation trophies lining the wall, right? You hear these people. And then you talk to that last guy. His wife is disabled with a neurological disorder to the point she can't get her own kids ready for school. Her parents have to help her. He loses his job in Mississippi. And what does this manly man, do? He commutes to Baton Rouge. How does he do this? As only you could do in Mississippi. He trades a case of beer and a lawnmower for a van. That's a touchdown. I'm a redneck all the way to my soul. Touchdown. If you could trade, I want to hear how this negotiation went down. Oh, the lawnmower. I don't know about a lawnmower. I'll throw in a case of beer. Done. I'm just wondering what kind of beer this was. That's what I want to know. But he's not even 30 years old. And he doubled his income, making $100,000 a year working as an electrician on the railroad, away from his family in order to take care of his family. You didn't hear him whining at all. He's living in the van during the week while he's in Baton Rouge, and he goes home to see his wife and kids on the weekends. He's sleeping on the floor of the van. And just cheerful. Not whining. Not entitled. Not mad at Obama or Trump. Not trying to figure out how some socialist is going to fix his life. He dove in the back of the van and took care of his family. That's freaking inspiring. It's inspiring. What a guy. I mean, you should be lucky enough that your daughter would marry a man that would do something like that to take care of his family. That's who you ought to interview for, is to find a guy with a backbone like that. I mean, this guy's doing it. And not only that, he's willing to do it for 2 more years. So that his house is paid for, so that when he goes back home and takes his pay cut in half, everything will still be okay with his family, because he's experienced being jobless and doesn't want to feel that feeling again. Now, we were cutting up with him, and, I couldn't resist. He's living in a van down by the river. I mean, it's the old Saturday Night Live skit with Chris Farley, right? And you'll end up in a van down by the river. You remember the skit, right? But all of that aside, just listen to what that guy was doing. And who does that? Real people every day. And that's why some of us have no tolerance for you if you're one of those whiners. Oh, well, the little man can't get ahead. There's just no jobs out there in the Trump-Obama economy. You just can't. We must resist. You little whiner. Well, that guy dove in the back of a van that he traded for a case of beer and a lawnmower. Translation, this ain't much of a van, boys and girls. And he's sleeping in it. You listen, I don't hear your whining. My tolerance for whining for the next hour and a half is 0. I've just used it up on him because he didn't whine. Wow. You know what this means? If you listen to that, would you do that? I'm not doing that. I mean, I probably would have when I was 28. I probably did stuff like that when I was 27. You do whatever it takes. You hustle, grind, feed your kids. Done some pretty wild stuff. I've worked a lot of hours in my life. I've done some pretty nasty butt jobs that nobody else would do just to make a little money to keep the lights on. I've done all that. I've opened the front door and the wolf was standing there. I know who he is, the wolf at the door. But you know what? I got to answer truthfully. The guy, I don't know if I've never been away from my family for 3 years. And some of you that serve in the military are gone like that all the time. Thank you for your service. I can't emotionally relate to it. I so honor you. I so appreciate you if you're willing to do things like that for the good of your family, the good of your country. That's called serving. That's called sacrificing for others. And that's what that guy was doing. Now, maybe you're not willing to do that, but maybe you're sitting there with a $60,000 debt on your freaking Tahoe and you're whining about having to get rid of that to get your life cleaned up. And this guy just made you look like a fool. He made you look like a complete wuss. You're sitting there with debt up around your eyeballs, all your little lifestyle and your pride, and you're unwilling to break that. And this guy dove in the back of a case of beer van and took care of his family. Wow. We salute you, sir. Appreciate the humor. Appreciate the good humor in your voice and in your character. And it's a great story because there's a little humor in there with all the pain. But wow. Wow. So would I, for another 2 years, do that if I were him? I doubt it. I think I would find another way to pay off my house. I think I would go back home, be with my wife and kids, take a pay cut, but let's not assume that it's all the way down to $50,000. Let's try to find something in the 75 to 100 range. Maybe you start your own electrician's outfit because you obviously have a lot of initiative. And maybe it's time to start your own business, and maybe it's time to do some other stuff. But in other words, I don't think it's just do I do 50 or at home and 100 there. No, I think we do more than 50 and we go home. And that's what I would do. I appreciate your willingness to do what you've done. It was very manly of you to take care of your family. Very manly of you. But I'd probably go home and find a way to make a little more money than I used to make and be there with the wife and kids. It's just too hard to be gone that much. Thanks for the call.